my friends? Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. You are in for a treat, if I do say so myself. I'm going to start a series on on form and proper form when you're doing your compound movements. So today we're going to go over squats, my favorite. I actually hate squats a lot, but they're useful and they're great, and for beginners they're lovely. I'm going to go over the different types of squats, and if any issues are coming up when you're squatting, I'll try to address them right now. So let's get into it. Number one, narrow stance squat. Not my favorite whatsoever. Narrow stance is going to work a little bit more quads. It's a little bit more inaccessible, in my personal opinion, for everybody because people do have issues with their knees. Narrow stance squat is going to be, let me turn. Feet are going to be closer together. Obviously narrow, and you're going to go down, and most of your weight is going to be in your heels, as per any squat. That's what we're doing. Sometimes in narrow stance squat, people's heels tend to pop up because they don't have the ankle mobility to get into a narrow stance squat. So if that happens for you, I would suggest widening your stance a little bit. And you don't have to go crazy. We don't have to go into a sumo squat. Sumo squat's going to be way out here. So we could just go to a nice wide stance squat, point your toes out. Right? It's going to be real comfy on your knees. Again, it's going to be like you're sitting in a chair, but your weight goes into your heels. This is a little bit nicer for your glutes. Get that dump truck, baby. And in my opinion, it's a little bit more accessible, although sometimes what happens when you go into a wider stance squat is your knees will cave in, right? So I'm sure you've seen people wide stance squat, and then when they're at the bottom, their knees cave in, or when they're about to pop up, their knees cave in. And if that happens, I would maybe narrow it just a little bit and try to work on, I'm out of breath. Try to work on your ankle mobility, try to work on your abductors, because chances are if your knees are caving in, your abductors are a little bit weak because your abductors are going to be what's forcing your knees to stay out. So those are our first two very basic squat forms. Both of them are going to have our weight in our heels. Both of them are going to be sitting into a chair. And both of them, we're going to look in the mirror before we do them and see what's going on with our body. You always want to address and see what's happening with your own body before you start a movement, because maybe it's not suited for you. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So the third one is sumo squat. I love sumo squat. So your legs are going to be incredibly wide. This is like how I stood when I had to talk in front of the class when I was in middle school. You know, it's that stance. So we're gonna still, our weight is in our heels. Our weight's always gonna be in our heels. I don't know why I didn't say that at first. And we're still gonna be like we're sitting back into a chair. This is gonna be more inner thighs, more glutes. It's still gonna work all leggies, all your leggies. But it's gonna be more inner thighs and glutes. And if this doesn't feel comfortable on like the inside of your knee or anything, just narrow it a little bit. Just play around and see what works for your body, because everybody's gonna be really different. Everybody's favorite now, split squats. And the difference between split squats and lunges is, this is a lunge. I'm lunging. A split squat, my back foot is gonna be elevated. I can't do that. And then I'm gonna squat from there. When you're in a split squat, just use your imagination. Imagine I'm in a split squat right now. Once again, your weight's gonna be in your heels. You're going to be pushing off of this front leg. You're almost like not even going to be using your back leg, right? It's just there for support. Make sure your knee is not going way in front of your ankle. That's no bueno. And also take a look in the mirror when you're doing it and make sure that your knee is not caving in. That would be the same issue that we had when we were doing the wider stance squats. Our abductors are weak. Our ankle mobility is bad. Whatever it is for your body. I don't know if it's talking or what, but I'm getting out of breath real fast. Oh, you could do a B stance squat. So B stance, I would recommend first getting your foundational squats down before you start doing any kind of single leg squat, just because we want to make sure we have a solid base before we start doing any kind of technically accessory movements, right? So B stance squat is going to be wherever your foot feels comfortable. It's usually like, what is that, 4 inches? According to most men, that would be like 10 inches. Behind your lead ankle, no, heel, that's a heel. Behind your lead heel, and you're gonna squat down, and it's supposed to be 75 on your lead leg and 25 on your back leg. And just go light with it at first, because it is a very strange sensation. but that's a nice one for the glutes too. Oh, goblet squats. Ooh, I couldn't remember the name of goblet squats. So you can really do goblet squats with any stance, right? So your feet can be narrow, your feet can be wide, your feet can be sumo. You're just gonna hold a dumbbell up here. Try not to like let it rest on your chest. Try to hold it. It's like I'm doing goblet squats. And you're just gonna go down like you're gonna regular squat, like the bar was on your back. Squat it, baby. You hear my knees? I don't know if you hear the crunching in my knees. Also, bar placement. So most people start with high bar, right? So the high bar is gonna be resting right on your traps. That's where I would recommend that you start, because low bar is very difficult to do properly. So high bar, if you want to use the bar, you don't have to use a barbell. You can totally just do like, these are suitcase squats. You could definitely just put them up on your shoulders, whatever is comfortable for you. You can use one. High bar is gonna go up on your traps. You're gonna hold it like this and do whichever stance you want. If you wanted to do low bar, again, I would recommend doing high bar first, getting your foundation down. Low bar is gonna be more down here. So you have to be more bent, hinged over than you do when you're doing high bar, which is why I would recommend you do high bar first, because if you don't have that solid foundation and you're hinged over like that, you could easily just, you know, top. Ooh. Okay, next is Cossack Squat. So you've seen people nice and wide. I'm just doing the one leg. You can just do one leg at a time, which I would recommend. If you're doing mobility, you could go over and over and then chill, and then over and over and then chill. But if you're doing a Cossack squat for strength purposes, I would put a dumbbell in my hand. I like to hold on to something when I'm doing it, so that I make sure I stay hinged forward a little bit, so that I make sure I hit my booty more. Play around with what stance feels right for you. Maybe you need to be a little bit closer in. And then your the dumbbell's gonna be in the opposite arm from the leg that's working. That makes sense? So if my left leg is working, my right arm is going to have the dumbbell in it. I think that that's pretty much it, aside from like if you were to use a hack squat machine, but the same stances are going to translate into a hack squat machine. Other than those, I think like a bench squat, so if you were to squat, you could still use any stance, but squat onto a bench, right? Or you could do a single leg squat onto a bench. Those are really, really nice. Those are really nice to work yourself up into pistol squats. Pistol squats are great. They're difficult. I don't even know honestly if I could do one right now because my legs are tired. But let's see. Oh yeah, I can. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's really gonna be whatever works for your body. I can't sit here and tell you that like you absolutely need to do sumo squat versus wide stance squat. You know, whatever your goals are, however your body works, whatever works best for you, whatever feels best for you. There should never be any kind of pain when you're working out. I have some pain in my knees, but it mostly just crunches because my cartilage is like flying all over my knees. Yeah, so those are your squat variations. I feel like I'm definitely forgetting some, but those are the ones that are really gonna build your foundation up and make you a strong lady. Oh man, whoever's watching this. And I hope that that helps with some of your confidence in the gym and knowing what to do and how to do it and what to use and how to use it. And I love you guys, and I'm gonna make one on deadlifts after I catch my breath. Okay? Okay, love you, bye!